Hey polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wild Moon Lacquer. In today's video we are doing another collaboration video. This time it is my winter nail polish rack in neutrals. So I have 14 neutral colors to share with you guys. I have them all swatched here. Also, because it is a collaboration, make sure to check out the list down below for all of the other participants and their channels. I'm sure we'll see a lot of really beautiful neutral colors and I'm curious to see what everyone else has picked. So like I said, I've got 14 polishes to share with you guys. And if you want to see more neutrals, do check out the video that I posted yesterday. That one has all of the other ones that I was comparing for my choices for these neutral racks. So the first one that's on my neutrals rack for this winter is this one from Zoya. This one is called Charity. This one is our pinkest leaning polish, but there is a lot of like a neutral brown to this one. That's why I feel like it's a beautiful neutral tone. It does have a soft shimmer in it that's sort of like a copper to maybe a gold. I think you're seeing mostly the gold on camera. I'm seeing mostly the bronze or copper in person. Here it is in 2 coats. This one is a polish that I could see some nail lengths needing a third for full opacity. I feel like I either didn't wait long enough to do a second coat on this one, or it might just be a slightly squishy formula because I feel like the second coat was just a little bit patchy, but I was okay once it evened out. Longer nail lengths might need a third to reach full opacity and cover up all of those patchy issues, but it's a beautiful color. I really like the tone of this one as well. It's a bit darker than some of the other colors that we're going to look at. So that first one was Zoya Charity. The second one is kind of in the same family as that one from Zoya, although this one has more brown in it. This is from LA Colors, and this one is called Friendship. And this one is really gorgeous. You have more of a brown, almost like latte color with a pinch of pink in it. Plus you've got a large particle shimmer in here that has a lot of different colors. I'm seeing pinks, reds, golds, and purples. Hopefully at least some of that color is coming across. Here it is in 2 coats. I think the shimmer on this one isn't super prominent, but you can see it in certain lighting, and I feel like once I apply a top coat on this, it would be even more noticeable. But it's a beautiful neutral color with that large shimmer particle in there, adding a bit of uniqueness to it. So that was LA Colors Friendship. Next up is a lighter shade. This one is from Zoya, and this one is called Rue. This is definitely a classic neutral shade. There is sort of a mix between like a gray and a putty pink in this one. It is a cream formula. Here it is in 2 coats. Really nice, soft, delicate neutral here. This is one that I feel will pull more pink on certain people, a bit more gray on others, so it'll really depend on your skin tone, but I really like the tone of this one. I think it's really beautiful. So that one was Zoya Rue. Next up is another Zoya. This one is called Presley, and this one is darker than Rue, and it also has a lot more purple in it. This one is a beautiful shade. This whole family of colors is really one of my favorites. You can see more of them in my neutrals comparison video. I have a lot in this family of purpley grays. So here is that one in 2 coats. Again, I absolutely love this tone on. I think it's really beautiful. I was really surprised actually the first time I wore a color like this that I ended up liking it on my skin tone. So it's been a favorite ever since. I like that there's a mixture of purple, brown, all in a neutral. It's really gorgeous. So that one was Zoya Presley. Next up is the only matte that I've pulled for my neutrals. This one comes from Essie, and this one is called Comfy in Cashmere. Now this one does have a subtle blue to purple shimmer in there that you don't really see that much when it dries to a matte finish. I might actually end up wearing this with a glossy top coat over it. Here it is in 2 coats. Now I'm not saying you can't see the shimmer at all. I think it adds sort of an interesting glimmer to the nail, but it's not a polish where you go, oh, that's got a blue glow to it. It's just got that sort of a hint of a blue glow. But there it is matte. I will say the formulation on these is not the easiest or beginner friendliest to work with. You do have to be very careful about how you apply the polish. Always let the polish on your bottom coat dry completely before you add another one. Otherwise you do risk messing up that still wet layer because the matte formula is a bit more difficult to work with. So just something to keep in mind. But that one was Essie Comfy and Cashmere. Next up is another Essie. This one is called Chinchilli. This is a pretty classic color. This was also in my neutrals comparison video. This is a beautiful lighter tone of that purpley leaning grayish. Here it is in 2 coats. This I think is a really nice one in 2 coats. I don't think too many people would need a third, although if you have really, really long nails, you might need a third. But it's a really gorgeous tone. You can see it compared to Comfy and Cashmere there. So that one was Essie Chinchilli. Next up we have a boutique brand. This is from Stargaze called Number 28. And this is another really beautiful grayish purple. This one is a bit darker and more purple leaning than the one from Essie that we just looked at. Here it is in 2 coats. So by comparison to Chinchilli, you've got that deeper, darker tone and a pinch more purple, although it is still also pretty gray polish. We'll see our most purple polish up next. This one had a really nice formula as well. I felt it was nice in 2 coats. I don't think too many people would need a third with this one because it was nice and opaque. So that one was Stargaze Number 28. The next one is our most purple polish. This is from Essie. This one is called Winning Streak. And this one is really beautiful. I did do, again, more comparisons of this in my neutrals comparisons video. I have a lot of polishes in this family. It's, again, one of my favorite types of these gray leaning purples. This is it in 2 coats. This is another one that I think most people would be just fine with in 2 coats. And again, the color on this is just gorgeous. So that one was Essie Winning Streak. The next one is our only hollow that I included in my neutrals because this one does come off pretty neutral on the nail, even though you do get that wash of rainbow. This one is from Pacifica and it is called Moonray. And this is a really gorgeous hollow that's in sort of this dusty purple leaning gray. You have, of course, the rainbow from all of the hollow. This is it in 2 coats without a glossy top coat. I think this one would look really beautiful matte too if you wanted it to be a bit more neutral, but I like that this is a bit exciting in the neutral family while still fitting nicely into the winter neutrals. You of course get that beautiful rainbow on the nails. So that one was Pacifica's Moonray. Next up is another shimmer from Essie. This one is called Wireless is More, and this is an interesting shade. It's sort of a pink leaning gray, and then you have a beautiful shimmer that actually shifts quite nicely. You've got pinks, orange, and gold all in that shimmer. Here it is in 2 coats. This one, because it is such a light color, I think some longer nails might need a third to reach full opacity, but it is a nice opaque color. It's just how light it is might determine if you need a third. But again, a beautiful color. I love the shimmer in this one. It's obviously not going to be as strong as an indie polish would be with that type of shimmer that it has, but I think it's a really nice addition. You do get that warm glow, and it does definitely add something to the polish. So that one was Essie's Wireless is More. Next up is another Essie. This one is called Mindful Meditation, and this one is more of a very true neutral. There's sort of a mix between like a very, very light tan. This is it in 2 coats. The opacity on this one was beautiful in 2 coats. I really don't see that many people needing a third because it doesn't have the addition of the shimmer. I feel like this one comes off even more opaque than the previous one. But a really nice soft neutral color. I think this one will come off looking different again on different skin tones. This could come off looking a little bit pinker, a little bit grayer, a little bit tanner, but a really nice neutral color. This could also make a really nice neutral base for some iridescent toppers if you wanted to jazz it up after a day or so. So that one was Essie's Mindful Meditation. Next up is another one from Zoya. This one is called Easton, and this one is leaning more towards the gray side of things. It's got like a touch of purple in it, just a pinch, but there is a lot of grayish in it as well. Here it is in 2 coats. This is another one that I think is just gorgeous in 2 coats. I will want to change out all of these brushes though to a wide flat brush that I have from Zoe because I still don't like their skinny brushes, but the formula on this one was really nice. I think this one again will kind of change depending on your own skin tone. I think this one could look grayer or lighter or even darker depending on your skin tone. So that one is Zoya's Easton. Next up is a light gray. This is from Kiss and this one is called Eye Contact. This is another nice soft color. It is basically a true light gray, but there is a pinch of something else in here, which was why it was in my comparisons for my gray leaning purples. It did turn out much grayer compared to all of those, but here it is in 2 coats. I think you might be able to tell on the nail wheel that there's something else going on there besides just being a very cool toned gray. Maybe it's that pinch of warm undertones that's making me feel like it leans a little bit towards the purple side, but it's a really beautiful color. And again, the formula on this one was also beautiful in 2 coats. So that one was Kiss, Eye Contact. And then our last polish comes from Creative. This one is called Blueberries and Cream. And I think the name is a bit interesting because this one doesn't look like blueberries at all. This is a very creamy formula that leans very much white. I would almost say it's an off-white that has a pinch of pink to it. There's also a shimmer component in here as well that has some pink, gold, and maybe a touch of like a very light green. Here it is in 2 coats. The formula on this one wasn't the best, but it is an older polish, so it's possible that I need to add maybe a touch of thinner to it before I use it next time. But this is the lightest shade that I chose for my neutrals. And I think this one will look nice and wintry for the season. This is also another one that I think would make a really nice base to use for some other shimmer polishes. If you wanted to add a shimmer on top of it to sort of amp up the shimmer that's already in there, or make it a little bit more exciting, because while this does have a shimmer, it's not exactly the most prominent on the nail. So that last one for my winter neutrals rack is from Creative, called Blueberries and Cream. And there you have it. That was some neutrals that I picked for my winter nail polish rack. Let me know down below which polishes you liked the best, if you have any in these color families that you like to pull out for the winter especially. Also remember to check out the list down below for all of the other participants and their videos. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and looking at beautiful polish. Hopefully you had a good time and enjoyed. Make sure to hit the little subscribe button down below if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on any of my new videos, and I will see you in that next one.